What's up, everyone? Happy Thursday. Welcome to episode 38 with Baseball 4 Podcast. Gus Rico here. It's been a week. We took a week off, and it's been a hell of a week, I should say. So we're back. I'm glad we're back. We have a great one today. And with that being said, next week I'm out of town, and that should be interesting because I'll be in Texas doing a podcast, which I've never done that. So I'm gonna have to get schooled by Andy Lira on what I got to do. But anyways, happy Thursday! Shout out to the wife and kids, player coaches, Braves parents, Braves players, Hot Corner Baseball there in North Hills, Bagger Sports, all tournament directors out there. You guys doing a heck of a job. We got a lot of rain the last couple of weeks. You guys been putting tournaments together one day, or doing all kinds of stuff for us. So that's great. Thank you guys so much. Some quick updates on the Braves here. We got a running club this Sunday at 7 a.m. in Hanson Dam. If you guys want to get your running in, come on out. We're gonna run 3 miles. 3 miles, not five, three. So if you guys want to come out and get your running in, your jogging in, come on out and join us. This weekend we have a bunch of teams playing again with the rain, so we're back on. It's beautiful out here now, so we have a bunch of teams playing. Good luck to all teams. All rosters have been sent out. Some schedules have been sent out. So if they haven't, bear with us. All right, we got high school baseball starting up, college baseball starting up. We have this Friday, tomorrow as a program. We're gonna go watch CSUN at CSUN as they got lights. Should be good, so can't wait for that. All right, let's move on. We have a 9U Navy tournament this weekend at Birmingham. That one should be fun. If you guys are in the area, come on out, support the snack bar. We're gonna have some good carne asada tacos. Can't wait, and nachos. All right. Well, with that being said, to my left, UCLA, Andy Lira.
Yeah, no, UCLA repping, but season graduates, I'll be repping on Friday at the event. So yeah, if you guys have any questions with the event this Friday, let us know. You guys that have the tickets, go to the ticket booth, give your last name. They'll give you the amount of tickets that they have with you, that they have for you, and then we'll be around. I'll be there. I know Gus and them have a game that day, so they might be a little late. But if you have any questions, don't be afraid to let us know, or to let me know. But welcome back to episode 38. I know we took a week off, but we're here. We're back. And I mean, we couldn't get back with anybody better than our guy here. The guy that I'm gonna introduce, puts out tournaments around the country. The well known. Everybody wants to be a part of them. They have their specialties tournaments that they want to go, especially one coming next week. 1,000+ teams. They're all ready to compete to be who's the best in the nation. And to me, that's fun, man. To give these kids and everyone opportunities, especially these coaches, to showcase their talents, showcase their programs, and to be able to go travel and give these kids a different experience against good competition. It's no other. But to our new guest here, PG GOAT, Tony Harper.
Man.
Appreciate it, guys.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's
Wow.
right. I appreciate y'all having me out, man.
It was about time, right? It took forever. It only took 30-something episodes.
Yeah, when you text me, I said, "Wow, the days finally came. I finally made it." So
Man, well,
definitely appreciate y'all having me.
thanks for joining us. I know you're in the East Coast. That's a nice background you have there. I'm glad you're a Braves fan. Love it. So,
Actually, this is a Freddie Freeman signed baseball bat. It hasn't made the burn pile yet, right here. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
I love it, man. So, what's going on? How you been?
Good, man. Just like you
Busy.
said, getting ready to rev up for the Houston 1000. Start next week. 1,000 teams in. I think we have over 30 states represented. Definitely a big kickoff to the travel ball season. So gearing up for that. Excited for that. We're having a big Friday night kickoff festival with celebrity softball. Got some pretty big names coming out for that. Giveaways, fireworks going. So definitely excited for that one, man. It's kind of like I tell people it's the Daytona 500 of travel baseball. We
For sure.
really excited for it.
For sure, man.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a great way to put it.
The celebrity softball, is that happening that same weekend? The same week?
Yeah, it's happening Friday night at Constellation Field in Sugar Land, Texas.
Oh,
It's
nice.
the Space Cowboys minor league stadium.
Yeah.
So
So Gus will be there, celebrity softball weekend. Yeah,
Yeah,
get ready to go. You know what I mean?
I'll be rooting on Eric Burns. Did I see Eric Burns' name on there? Is that right? Burns on
yep,
it?
he'll be there.
Percy's there.
He's
Oh.
that,
Burns is there.
that man's gonna be running out everything.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Man, so when is that rodeo you guys always go to?
I think that starts the Monday or Tuesday after, but yeah, it's always a good time. There's actually a lot going on in town. They have the college classic. I think it's the Astros,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that big Astros college tournament going on the same weekend. So it's huge weekend in Houston. So the rodeo, um, definitely fun experience. That rodeo. A couple of years ago was my
Yeah.
first time going with Scooter and Rob. They drugged me out there, and it's a good time, man. Definitely, they got live performances, bull riding, everything. So definitely love that. A lot to do, man.
Definitely. The outfits were the hit.
You know, I was gonna wear this year's outfit for the call, but I was like, no, I can't.
Nah, you can't do
release
that.
it. Can't release it yet. So.
Man, all right, let's get started, man. Tell us what your PG role is. Like what I mean, I know you do a lot. I know what your role is, but let everyone know what you do for PG out there.
So I'm the senior director of youth operations for Perfect Game. Wear a lot of different hats. I kind of one of my big days is just kind of overseeing the specialty tournaments. The Houston 1000, I help with that big time with Scooter and Rob and the Texas team. They do a great job with that. It's kind of the big one. But rolled out the Beast of the East Invitational a couple years ago. That thing's really taken off and been a hit. The PGI, our national championship for Perfect Game. And then just recently, the past 2-3 years, started rolling out the National All-State, which is a really cool event that we have. So kind of oversee the logistics, the operations, the back of the stuff, the back of the house stuff that nobody really sees on that. Do a lot with the team rankings, Perfect Game Select Festival. So I do a lot of traveling. Get to meet a lot of great people, a lot of great families, got a lot of great coaches and kids. So definitely blessed to do what I do. And it's a lot of traveling, a lot of hours. You know, it's not an 8 to 5 job, especially with you West Coast guys that are calling me at 11 o'clock at night, wanting to talk baseball. But definitely love it, man. Definitely blessed to do what I do. And I've always told people, if you enjoy what you do, you're never really going to work a day of your life. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Nice. Love it. Yeah, you do a lot, man. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. You definitely I mean, I respect everyone out there, but the kids, you definitely show a lot of love to all the kids out there.
Yeah,
mean,
man. I mean, at the end of the day, that's our future, man. Whether it's on or off the baseball field, and I'm real heavy on social media. Kind of get out there, and I try to get to know as many players as I can, man, and definitely try to look out for them and definitely enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot of directors out there that say they run tournaments, but I like to think that I have a personal relationship with all these guys, and to kind of get to know them at 8, 9 years old and kind of just follow with their journey, getting to know
For
their
sure.
parents, knowing their stories, their struggles, their injuries, and all that. It's
that's
just awesome, man. It's like I said, there's going to be a very small percentage that goes on to play college ball and high pro ball or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, we just want these guys to grow up to be great individuals in their societies, husbands, fathers, and all that. And there's
for
so
sure.
much more to the game of baseball. I know everybody's, it's such a revenue driver and all that. And to be honest, like, I would probably do this thing for free, man. I just enjoy it and love being an impact on these kids' lives.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah, no, that's
There you are, man.
look
Look
at
at
that.
Man, throwback. Look at that
that.
hair.
Throwback. Look at that hair.
Look at the
Tony.
hair, right? Yeah.
Shoot, man.
Um,
Love it.
Look at that.
Yeah, man. No, I just want to see like how did your journey get to where you are now? You know, because I know there's got to be steps and ways and to be able to get you to where you're at now, man. Tell us the journey how you became, the operator now and for PG and for the youth sports.
So I started out, played a lot of baseball. Never was, D1 material or anything like that, but I honestly wanted to go into coaching for high school. And that's kind of when I went to college. I kind of set my goals, my eyes on is being on the field and all that. Started out going to school for education, did a couple of shadowing and classes, and then I was like, all right, well, sitting in a classroom is not for me. So I decided not to go that route. Ended up getting my degree in sport management. My
Mm.
senior year of college, I had to do an internship. So started doing an internship, running tournaments at ESPN Wide World of Sports. Spent
Wow.
shoot, it was 3 straight months to running tournaments, long days there. Then went on to run an All American program. Did a lot of traveling with that, doing like day combines, selecting All American teams at the youth level. And then
And
was approached by Perfect Game 4 years ago to come over and help them on their youth side as they began to kind of really grow out the youth market. I mean, Perfect Game's always been notable in the high school ages, the showcase and all that. So they had a good platform already built. It was just kind of taking what they had already established and kind of pivot to the youth ages and all that. So really got heavy there. I think Perfect Game noticed that I was kind of a big name face in the youth market. So they brought me on board. It doesn't seem like it's been 4 years already, but it's been a fast 4 years. I think we've made a lot of good strides in the right direction. There's a lot that we've done. There's a lot of stuff that we have on the agenda to do just in a short year span. But a great team at Perfect Game, man. A lot of resources. I everybody seems to put me on the face of Perfect Game Youth, but there's so much people behind the scenes that do a great job putting these tournaments on, whether it's the admin, the hotels, the umpires, the local state director. So definitely a great team that I have behind me. I get a lot of credit for a lot of it, just because I'm the face of it. But behind the scenes, there's a lot that goes on that a lot of people should be thankful for to give these kids the opportunity to do what they can do.
so you would say you were able to bridge that gap, bridge the gap of perfect game and youth sports and bring it into one, and to be able to connect it to both. Because I know when I was growing up, it wasn't really like, I mean, I didn't really, perfect game wasn't a huge thing, or to be honest, I didn't really know what that was until you get into the true travel ball. And now PG's like everything. It's like everything to
Yeah,
everybody, right? Like you want to go, and you guys do a great job of keeping stats and doing those things to making one players to know what it is when they do go to college and high school, when they are keeping stats and those thing there. I think you guys gave them that different feel,
That
that different
platform, yeah.
platform of it to be able to recognize it at a younger age. So you guys bridge that gap to be able to give that overall stuff that they were doing at the high school, college level for the youth level.
yeah,
And you've done a great job so far with doing all that.
yeah. I appreciate it. I mean, there's a lot of out on social media. There's a lot of negative pub of the rankings of players, the stats, and all that. I get it. At the end of the day, they're kids. They're all working towards a goal. But the thing I like most about ranking teams and stuff like that, it gives the kids something to work towards, to kind of hang their hat of showing, hey, we put in the work. We're the number 10 team in the nation. And yeah, it might be a 10U deal, but I don't think people really understand how much these kids pay attention of it, and they feel like they have something to prove. So it's not, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, but we're all in his for the big picture to get these kids down the road, to get these kids committed to colleges. And if ranking a team or something gives a kid, hey, that drive to go out and practice, then I mean, why not? You know what I mean? So it's all about the kids. It's all about giving them the opportunity and the drive to continue to work and improve.
For sure. I mean, we've been blessed to being ranked the last couple of years, and put another 13 team together, and I don't even know where we're at. But back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think we were one in the country as a 12-year-old team, and then we went two, and then one, or we ended up at two. We dropped to SBA, but I mean, I remember myself. Rob was at practice one time, and I remember preaching to our kids like, "Hey, even though you're one, like, what's it gonna take to stay there?" Or we had ZT on top, and it was like, man, like it was just a battle of like, I mean, I looked forward to it in the sense of like, let's get these kids better, and it was a huge target on our back. That how are you guys gonna handle that? Yeah, like you just said, like some people probably think differently of it, but at the end of the day, what are we trying to teach these kids? That's for the next level. It's like, hey, I mean, my son's high school is ranked 17 in the country, or 7 or 17 in the country right now by PG, and he looks forward to it as a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, man, we want to be the number one. We want to beat Corona this year. I'm like, dude, like, get it.
But it also teaches, like, when you go from a powerhouse, let's say a powerhouse youth program, a travel ball program, powerhouse, and you go to a high school and it's a powerhouse,
Yeah.
you know those expectations, you know that pressure of that target on your back.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go get that, but then, like you said, right, like, how are you going to stay at the top? The same way Corona knows everyone's trying to chase them.
Yeah.
It's how are we going to go get them to beat them, and if we beat them, how are we going to stay there
For sure.
for the next 4 or 5 years? And I think
sure.
a lot of some of these players that do go into those youth programs and don't get the big headed and all that, but understand that, hey, I'm used to this powerhouse, or if I go to a powerhouse high school, it's going to be somewhat the same pressure.
Well,
we got to
I'm a,
be able to perform.
Drew Wilson.
Hmm.
I'm gonna use him as an example. He played for us for a couple of years, and PG's face of it, almost like, yeah, PG Select Fizz back to back. I think 3 years in a row, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he walked into Notre Dame private school, and he's starting as a freshman.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's
Yeah.
why I tell people is it really, is it necessary to travel as a 10 and 11-year-old kid and go out and do these national caliber tournaments where you're playing teams from Texas, California, and all that? And, it's not for some people, but I can tell you a good percentage of these guys that are getting exposed to these national level teams, these national caliber arms, these guys are prepared, man. Some of the pressure situations that I've seen some of these 12, 13-year-old kids in, like, it's unmatched.
Yeah.
And you step on a 60-90 field in high school as a freshman, you've already been battle tested. Like, you've gone through like the top 3-4 arms in the country.
Right.
And the kids are just prepared, man. And I think that's the biggest take of this is what we're doing is providing them the opportunity to be exposed to those top arms in the country. And when they get to school, for some schools, it's a step back from what they're used to, from the not big level national travel ball circuit to, high school. And at the end of the day, like, we want these guys to step on a high school campus and play 4 years of varsity baseball.
For sure. No, I mean, that should be the goal for every single kid walking into high school. But some kids are blessed, with that, and some kids are not. And like you just nailed it. They, I get asked a lot where, like, what should I hold my kid back? Where should I send them? What high schools? And I'm trying to get better in the sense of, guiding kids, especially my 13, 14-year-olds. Like, make sure you guys go to a home where it's a good fit for you. Don't go and play whatever 3 years of JV. Like, you don't want to do that. You just played competitive travel ball for the last 6-7 years. So why would you go do that? Why would you go backwards? It's tough, man. It's really hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of times parents reach out to me and, want to ask advice of, hopping teams and all this. Like, at the end of the day, you got to put your kid in the best position to get developed, to get the reps. Because at the end of the day, your kid only has one shot at this.
Right.
And, you might go to a big high school or a big national team and ride the bench, but what are you benefiting from that? You know what I mean? Like,
So you're telling
get
me
the reps, find the home for you.
You're telling me taking 20 kids next week is not a good idea? I'm just kidding.
It
No,
might
I mean,
it
but
might
that's
take 20 kids.
yeah, but that mean, but that's
Oh
like
man.
that's the you know the trying to find the balance, right? Like
Yeah.
you do want to go to these tournaments like Texas. I mean, let's be real. 12 guys for they better be the best 12 pitchers in the world. They better be better be able to play every position because it's gonna be a grind. So of course you're gonna need those 15 guys, position guys to do that. But that gives you a little taste of what high school is.
Yeah.
Because high
Yeah.
school, you're not gonna go and be like, hey, 15 guys are gonna play every inning. No, that's not how it works. You're gonna have POs. You're gonna have know what your role is. You're gonna have to accept it. So it gives you the glimpse of what your role would you kind of want to be and what these coaches see you to be able to get there for high school and for these things. That's why I think these tournaments are good in a sense for those aspects to give that recognition of what high school could be, what a roster like this. But then again, you said it's like, hey, being able to develop and get your reps and do all that. Like a lot of these teams are able to get practices in together, develop as a team, develop team chemistry, develop the right way to play, and then you got to go get coached, and then coaches got to coach against other teams. That's yeah. I mean, everybody does it. Sometimes they throw talent together and they go out there and win, but it's just at the end of the day, what are you going to try to give to these kids? You want to find the balance of, hey, let's get the most talented players, but let's not forget that we want to develop these kids as well for the bigger picture. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
parents and some people forget about that, where it's like, no, I want to go and do this and for this now. It's like, hey, what home are you at?
Yeah, it's
Because
tough.
it's like high school, you're going to find that home where it's like, hey, we need to get our reps developed to be able to develop that baseball IQ to succeed at the next level. It's tough, man, because everybody wants to. It's hard to find the balance to try to impress people and go out there and compete and give them what they want, but then have them to understand like, hey, we got to develop to be good high school, college, pro baseball players as well.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like especially in the younger ages, like some teams out there that are just more physically, advanced at that age, and as you get to the older ages, the baseball IQ, the ability to actually play the game, to just there's a huge benefit of playing with your guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different models of how teams go about it. There's some teams and organizations that they don't even practice together. They got 5 or 6 events. They fly guys in and they play. And I tell parents all the time, like, that might not be your model, and that's okay. Like, to be able to hold a practice every weekend with your guys, there's a lot of benefits to that. And especially when you get to the older age groups,
Yeah.
you see teams that stay local with their guys that end up actually doing a lot better on these tournaments than these guys that just fly guys in every weekend.
I mean, I respect everything. I honestly do. I put my ego aside and I'm like, you know what? If you want to fly a guy in, or if you want, I don't. You already know how I feel, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's like we can't. If
Yeah,
you
no,
don't
I
like
mean,
it, beat them. I mean, straight up. It's like at the end of the
But I
day,
mean, at the end of the day, you want your guys to see those guys. You know what I
for
mean?
yeah,
sure,
Like,
for sure, it's
you
nine against
want your
nine.
guys to be tested. You
Yes.
might not win, but your guys are getting better, and
Oh, we better
that's
win.
day.
see,
That's what you're going to be able to hang your hat on.
but that's baseball. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's out there or not. Like if you feel like
You
you've
got to beat
done,
it.
you
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
play baseball at the end of the
Yeah.
days. You got to do those in between the lines, and you don't know what can happen that day. Every dog has a day, and I think that's where it's like this is the beauty of it, where it's like, hey, you know what? We believe we're doing what we need to do here at home and dominating and preparing our best for this. That's
Yeah.
why not go and try, and we expect to win.
Yeah. I
Granted,
mean,
is it going to happen all the time?
like
Probably not,
the
but
team we had 2 years ago, Jordan, Leon, and Mateo, and those guys when they were 12. It's like we practiced together Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. I mean, it was great, and obviously when we had guys from the OC, they would come and practice, and it was 12 guys at the practice, and yeah, I mean, we took off, we did, and we lost to ZT National in President's Day at a Irvine, and then we went back a couple weeks after. We beat them in Texas, and then they beat us in Beast of the East, and then we ended up beating them at a PGI. So it's like you have your back and forth, but I do feel like all those teams in that class, that 12U class that I just named, and including the Banditos, SBA, all those guys are off to high school now, or they're going to go into high school. Me personally, I feel like that whole class is battle tested. Like no
Yeah.
matter, we beat each other up so bad. It was like heavyweight versus heavyweight. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, what are you gonna do? Is he gonna bunt here? Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? Delay steal, whatever. So I mean, it kept me on my toes, for sure, and my coaching staff, like George and Jimmy and those guys, like, hey, you guys got to be on it because we got Trent O'Malley on the bump.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
man,
82, 83 from 50 feet. You gotta love it.
gotta love it. So, but man, moving on. So you got Texas, Houston, Texas, 1,000 teams. And then you have Beast of the East, invite only, and then you have PGI.
Mhm.
What is the difference between all those three tournaments? I know the difference. I mean, it's really, really competitive, super
Yeah.
competitive. I think Beast of the East is absolutely a beast. I mean, you better be ready to go as soon as you get off that plane.
I
Like,
mean, it's
ready
in
to
his
go.
name, Beast.
Yeah,
You better be a
it's
beast.
it's yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so Beast of the East is obviously Houston 1000s in the open tournament. It's our kickoff to the season, which is cool. Beast of the East, this is the fourth year for it. It's in May, Panama City, May 16th through the 18th this year. But what it is, it's one of the most exclusive youth tournaments, 9 to 14.
Yeah.
And it started out year one. I only invited 8 teams. So the main focus is the try to secure the top 8 teams in the country. And like you said, I mean every game has that championship feel. Like every matchup starting Friday night
Oh yeah.
is a championship matchup, and you
Yeah.
got to come out of pool play one of the top teams, or you're not going to advance. So it's an animal, man. Even with only 8 teams being selected, there's a lot of teams that go out and pick up extra arms to run deep, because at the end of the day, you're going up against some of the best hitters of that age group. So it's just an animal, man. Like you said, it's a straight beast, and it started out year one is all right. I'm going to try to grow this thing to become something good, and I think I checked earlier, I have 200 requests for only 62 spots. So it's a highly sought out tournament. Definitely, if your team or organization gets invited to it, like that's huge for those teams
Yeah.
to be selected to attend. And I know the kids love it. It's highly covered with social media. Our team does a great job doing with that. So it's definitely animal, as you said. I know you
Yeah.
guys. I remember talking to you in the dugout after that game with ZT, man, and you were.
I was hot.
That was a battle. That was a battle.
I'm still hot.
Was that the Texas?
Yeah,
That was Panama.
Oh, Panama.
Panama City.
Panama City. A great tournament, great facilities. I think we got a little bit of rain.
Yeah.
We did.
It's Florida
Yeah.
baseball.
We go Jordan versus Trent O'Malley on the bump, and yeah, what happened? I think McGraw hits a 3-run bomb or 2-run bomb to tie it, and sure enough, thunderstorms hit. 30-minute delay. I'm like,
Yeah.
we got it. Well, everyone's got to leave the
Yeah,
facility, but it's all good, man. But yeah, good times. It's a great tournament. PGI, man, that one was.
PGI.
You better not lose.
yeah.
That's all I heard.
Double elimination format. You lose, especially if you lose early, you're gonna have to battle your way out. We take 35, 36 teams. You got to win a super regional NIT out there, be a top ranked team. So you're looking at 32 to 36 of the top teams of the country. Like I said, it's a double elimination bracket. It's a week-long tournament. But if you lose early, to battle your way out of that losers bracket with that amount of games with pitching, it's a challenge.
For sure. All I heard was you better not lose. And once playoffs came, and then I forgot who we played, or something D-bags, and that guy was straight chucking,
Yeah.
and we ended up winning. And then we go against Banditos. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not losing this one. Jordan, you're on the bump. I'm like, no, man. But yeah, I mean, it's a great tournament. Where's it at this year?
We're at South Haven. This is our third year at South Haven, Mississippi for the 8s through 12s. Our 13s are in Chesterfield, Missouri, close to
Oh,
St. Louis. So,
nice.
um,
When can that tournament come to the West Coast?
it would. Everybody wants us out there, man. We got some things in the works. That's all
There
I
you
gotta
go.
Come
say.
on,
There
man,
you
because
go.
from what I heard, that weather ain't it, right? Ain't nobody trying to go play those communities like that,
Hey,
man.
And
that south in the summer, man, it is humid.
Yeah,
for
they
It
sure.
is
got
humid.
all that advantage. Us West Coast guys, they
For
about to
sure.
die out there.
For
We're like, bro,
sure.
what is this?
Tell Rob to get on it. Tell Rob.
Yeah,
Man, shout out
Cali
to Rob and
Rob,
Scooter
baby.
out there, man. Rob and
Yeah,
Scooter, if you
man,
guys are listening, you guys do a heck of a job as well, man.
really
You
do.
guys do it
Yeah,
one great
those
job.
two guys, man. I put in a lot of hours, but just everything that they tackle, man. Those guys. I got to know them 4 years ago at PGI, and those guys. We talk nonstop. Scooters handles a lot of Texas. Rob handles a lot of Cali, but
Yeah,
those guys are great, man. Some of my best friends. They kill it too, man. So shout out to them. Anybody that can put on 1,000 team tournament with 150 plus fields with all those umpires and all the issues, and they do it like it's nothing, man. So big shout out to those boys, and all their staff to help them make that happen.
for sure. Yeah, man. So let's talk about social media. I know you're big on it. We're also big on it as far as even with the high school level. We tell the kids like, hey, be careful. I mean, literally last night we played and we told the kids game two. We told the kids like, hey, careful what you tweet out, careful what you put. I mean, we're not about that. We don't carry ourselves like that. Like for me, I in the brace program, if I get tagged on something and a kid tags me on a bomb, whatever, and he puts a song to it and there's some cuss words in there, I don't repost it. I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm that guy, and people might not like me for that, but it is what it is. But anyways, how important is social media out there, man?
So and I was a kid.
For
You
sure.
know, we were all kids one day. We all made decisions that probably weren't the best, and I don't think it really opened my eyes until I got to college and started taking classes. But social media, it can be your best friend. It could open up a million opportunities for you.
Hmm.
But social media can also hurt you in a very negative way.
Yeah.
I feel like in the media all the time we're hearing stories of athletes and things that they dig up from years ago. Um, you might not think anything of it now, but if you ever have to sit back and think of maybe I shouldn't post this, then I mean it's not worth posting. I mean at the end of the day, like once you throw something out there, it's out there.
Right.
You know, everybody screenshots these days. Everybody wants to send it out to everybody, and
Hmm.
everybody's looking for an opportunity. Especially like these top level, these high ranked kids. I try to tell them all the time with select festivals, like everybody feels like they should be in your shoes.
Right.
Everybody's looking for something to get that one up for you. So if they can take something as much as a social media post,
Damn.
a negative social media post to one up you, they're going to use that against you. I
Hmm.
can't tell you how many times I've had parents, coaches, other kids send me posts that kids do. And it's,
Wow.
a lot of it's just strictly out of jealousy. Like they don't want to see kids succeed. And it's sad that that's what it's come to, but that's the reality of the world today.
Yeah.
Everybody has cell phones, social media is everything's off social media right now. So yeah, my biggest advice is just be careful.
Yeah.
Social media can get your name out there, but just be careful, man. I like you said with songs, I'll get tagged in hitting videos with cuss words, and I'll message them and say, hey, I would love to share your post, but you got to put a different song out there. So yeah.
I mean, it's pretty bad. It's even, I mean, there's a war going on right now in Cali. I'm sure you're aware of it, and like even that stuff, like if it's this right here, there's definitely like, no, man, like I'm calling you
Yeah,
direct and like, hey, let's put this aside, let's talk, like let's talk. I'm not gonna do that, like, but
yeah. I mean,
just
we get it.
yeah,
You guys are competitive. We all have competitive backgrounds. Everybody wants to win. But the stuff going on with Callie today, I don't really know the backstory, and
me
I put
either,
on there I don't care because at
right,
the end of the day, like the backstory, it doesn't matter.
right,
But the fact that whatever happened is boiled over on social media and going viral, like that's unnecessary. Like
I
we're all
agree
out there for the same reason. We all want to see these kids succeed,
for sure,
and as a coach, as a parent, your job is to set an example, and it's not a good look. I tell a lot of times when I talk to big org heads is just be mindful of things people put on social media. I mean, another one of my pet peeves is kids hating on other kids. Like it's not a good look. To go on another kid's post and try to down them, like we're all out here for the same reason. We all go through our struggles. Baseball's a tough sport. You're gonna fail more than you're gonna succeed. But to sit there and trash or bash anybody on social media, like let's be there for each other. Let's help each other out. Let's motivate each other because at the end of the day, colleges and MLB teams, they don't want that kind of guy in their locker room. Someone that's going to not be supportive. I mean, character's huge, man. I
for sure.
mean, character is huge.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just one of those where it's like you're competitive to a certain extent, and I think we've all been in positions where it's like you have to make a decision on the fly, and it's like, are you gonna be able to rationalize and calm yourself down to be like, yo, this is not the place for it.
Yeah.
Now we can go and do whatever we need to do off the field or whatever it is, that's fine, but on the field we're there for specific reasons to give the kids the best opportunity to win the game, to give the coaches the best opportunity to show their talents, and to go about that. I think, and believe it or not, like having you here, like tournament directors or like guys like that, umpires here, to where we talk to them. Like I was here yesterday at the high school game. I said if I didn't do a podcast with umpire, I would have chewed them out by now.
Yeah.
Honestly, but that changed my life, or like the expectation of what these guys go through, to understand that they have enough pressure already, just the way we do, right? Like everybody has pressure. Why are we gonna add on to it? Now, if it's outrageous call and you don't know, and there's different ways to handle it, but I just think that people don't understand or don't look outside themselves. And I think that's where, and families like this goes to for everything too. It's like, hey, we're a small community, like we're a small tribe. As crazy as big as it seems, we all see each other a lot, and it's like we're all gonna see each other again. Do we all want to be looking at each other like, yo, what is it gonna be today, or is it gonna be, hey man, let's go get out there on the field and go have a drink after? I think that's where it's like you got to learn. People's got to learn to be able to leave that on the field and off the field. It's leave that there, and I think that's where social media nowadays is like it allows you to keep things going instead of leaving it on the field. It allows you to keep taking you with you at home, and then you're able to just keep going back and forth. And it's like, dude, like you said, when you have kids going back and forth, 12, 13, 14 year olds. I mean, it's one thing to be competitive on the field, but then you keep that going, keep going. Don't next thing you know, he's your teammate on high school
That's
because
for
you
sure.
guys,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like now you guys are teammates, and what is it now?
Well, it's kind of like Avila and I, like what was it, Texas?
Yeah,
Was it
Texas.
Like,
You know,
we're
like
going at it, and third base box, and then we say some words to each other. I mean, might not been the greatest idea to do that, but it's the heat of the moment, and right away I was like, shoot, the kids, and yeah, I mean, I've heard it, from other people, in the baseball world, like, hey, you probably have to do a better job, and my mentors like, hey, this and that, and we squashed it, done. I mean, I want to win
I mean, we're all guilty of it. I
for sure.
mean,
I just want to
you
win every
know,
game. That's why.
And then, like they said, there's rule like there's underlying rules to things. There's other things, but then it's like at the same time, it's like, well, then they should have stopped it or whatever it is, right? And I think that's where it's nowadays. It's you're trying to win, but when you have enough respect for the other person because they're that good and they're that competitive as well, you're gonna
yeah,
tip your hat off to them and be like, yo, you
For
know
sure.
what? It is what it is. You got me. We could put that in the back burner and get ready to go again when we do it again. But it's just that respect. There's not enough respect in this. I think in the community world right now of it to where you can leave that on the field and put your pride down to have a conversation of why it led to that, and then all right, let's get past it and let's go. I think that's got to come. That's got to happen more often to where it's like,
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we're all competitive. We all put a lot of time, effort,
right,
money into what we're doing. So like totally get that from a coach's parent standpoint. Like you're taking off work, you're traveling. But at the end of the day, you're gonna look back at this in 5, 6 years from now when your son's in college and you'd be like, I can't believe that post that went viral on social media or I acted an absolute fool in Texas and stuff. Like it might matter a lot now, but you're going to look at it 5, 6 years down the road and you're just going to shake your head. Because at the end of the day, in the big picture of the things, like that's not what you're there for. You're there for to give your son the opportunity to get better, to develop. So I can't tell you how many times, and it's funny because 8, 9, 10-year-old games, they're so intense. And I feel like the older you get, like it calms down a little bit. The parents, I don't know if they get tired of getting all over umpires and stuff, but the older you get, like it calms down a lot. And I know high school games and college games, there's tense moments, but it's just not worth it. I mean, it's you don't want to look back and regret anything. I deal with issues all over the country that you know I hate addressing, but every problem that comes to me, it's like you talk to these guys and it's like an instant regret for them. And I don't know if it's them sorry they got caught or if them sorry they truly did it, but at some point they realize, okay, it wasn't worth it. And the social media stuff, like everything's getting captured on social media these days. So everybody's live streaming a game or game changer game. So parents, I tell people all the time, if you're that parent that's always wanting to chirp at an umpire, like the older you get, like that doesn't benefit your son one bit. So go
Yeah.
find a nice, comfy spot in right field and enjoy the game and let your kid play the game because not every call is going to go your way.
Go red
And
cup it in right field. I mean, I don't even call these guys blues anymore. I call them by their first name, and I just have that much respect for them. And if I ask for the
it's a tough
count,
job, man.
it
It's a
is.
tough job.
If I ask for the count, I say please and thank you. I mean, there's been the heat of the moment. Definitely can like we all get caught up in it. We do, like and but like at the high school level, I don't. I mean, I don't. No, I mean now we're on pitch comp, so now I literally ask my catcher like, where did that miss, or like we have like codes signals that he gives me like, hey, that's a strike, no, that's a ball, like for me to even argue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're at that level where it's like I'm never gonna say, come on, Blue, where'd that miss? Like, no. One, if I get tossed from a high school game, I got to go through paperwork. I got to sit out a game. I'm not trying to go through all that. I gotta take a class online. Like, what
for
do you
real?
call anger management? Probably.
Oh hell
I'm
no.
good.
Yeah. They make it to where you don't want to get tossed. For
Exactly,
sure.
exactly. And I don't know what it is with these high school umpires lately. The last two games out here in California. I mean, I'm sure they got new rules. They're not engaging. They're not. They're not even like
Acknowledging you or anything.
acknowledging of like, hey, where'd that miss? I mean, we played a team the other day, our first game, and their dugout was absolutely mouthing off, like not even baseball lingo, and the race umpire was like, "All right, that's enough." You know, 8 batters later, and I all I yelled was like, "What?" I mean, I didn't yell, but I did say it took you long enough. Like, man, like you
Yeah.
don't let it get out of control, because if it gets out of control, you don't know how we're gonna react, and then all of a sudden it can get ugly. You got to stop
Yeah,
shit early.
that's the big part of umpiring, man. Is I tell them, you just have to control the game. You
Mm-hmm.
know, keep manage of the game. If you let one team get away with something, they're gonna keep pushing the button until it just gets out of control. So
For sure, man.
Yeah, let's just say, man,
Select Fist. PG Select Fist. I know there's PG All State. I've been a part of that. It's been great. I mean, we had some kids go through Select Fist as well. I want to touch on Select Fist. It's such an honor to even like have kids on there from in any program that gets multiple kids on there or even one. I mean, we follow that in the summer, and it's televised, and you guys they get all kinds of gear, and I want to see the higher levels at a college, maybe I think playing, or it's such a great thing for the boys out there to even get select, for select fest. How does that work? I mean, go ahead and touch on that.
yeah, so we have Select Fest for ages 11 to 14, and it's basically an end of the year deal that we start back in the fall, and we just kind of track the kids' progress. Some years it's returning kids. Sometimes kids will make it at 11U and won't make it at again. But it's at 11U we select 24 kids. 12U we do 28. 13 we do 36, and 14s we do 14U. So 13 and 14U is real heavily. The national showcase is kind of our big qualifier for that. And then 11 and 12s is kind of based off our PGI and performance of that. So we don't have the showcase for the youth, but it's a cool opportunity, man. It's a true all star weekend for the kids. Like you said, this is actually the
The logo.
logo for it right here on my chest. So it's a cool badge of honor for the kids. I know a lot of the kids, 14, 15, 16 years old, they still have this little bubble boy emblem on their helmet to show that they've been selected. And it's the true cream of the crop.
Right.
Every year, I'm part of the selection committee of the players, and it's tough, man. There's so many deserving kids. There's so many kids that put in the hard work. There's some kids, like I said, that make it every year. But I tell kids every year, especially at that 11-8 age group, I have an opening dinner, and my big opening speech to these guys is, congratulations, you made it. Um, but there's people at home right now that aren't in your seat that feel as if they should have been selected. So you can't get complacent. There's kids at home right now that are working to make it next year,
Mm-hmm.
and the goal is to make it year after year. So that's a big part for the kids. I think they take a lot of pride in being selected. We have an outing. We usually Dave and Buster's, Braves games. We do a charitable piece with it. We fundraise money for children's hospitals. They take charter buses everywhere, and like you said, they get all kinds of gear. We deck them out fully with multiple uniforms, home run derby. So it's a really cool experience, man. And I, like you said, the Braves have had a lot of great kids selected, but it's more than just being a great player. You got to be a good teammate. You got
Yeah.
to have a good attitude. So it's bigger than that. But I mean, it's cool for me. We talk every year. We had Connor Griffin this past year, just got drafted first round to the Pirates. I had him at the 14U festival. So it's really cool to start seeing these kids that continue to grind, and you're identifying them at 11 and 12 at a young age, and they're continuing to put the work in to continue to get better. And at a young age, they might be continue put the work in to make it next year, but at the end of the day, they're working to the goal, and that's to get drafted or
Yeah.
to end up playing college baseball.
That's gotta feel good. Like, hey, I saw that kid at 11, 12, and all of a sudden he gets drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Right over here, I got a every year we have our lineup, and I get one for every year, and it's
Sounds
all the
dope.
names: Connor Griffins, Cam Caminittis, uh, the Noah Francos of the world. So a lot of cool names that are going to do great things, and it's really cool for me to get to know these guys at such a young age and see them to continue to get better and improve and go do great things, man.
Man.
Yeah, I mean that's what all this is about. To be honest, everything it's just to see them go and succeed and give them the best possibility chance to fulfill their dreams. And when you do and you see that and you be like, man, that right. Even if it is one or two for that year, it makes you feel like amazing inside. You know, it makes you feel like you accomplished something that you gave somebody a chance to be able to, feel validated and solidified in the PG world or in the baseball world, and then they go on, get drafted, go to college. I think that's the best feeling right there, and that's what we all do it for, man. Is to give these kids their best opportunity and best chances, the best resources to make it where they want to make it, and then it's up to them to go and run with it.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, your guys' job to put them in the right position to be selected for events like that and to develop and get better. And then our job as Perfect Game is to give them the platform to showcase their abilities and the hard work that they do. And Perfect Game does a great job with social media of highlighting players and giving them great opportunities. Dexter McCleon, for example, just signed a nice Bruce Bolt deal, NIL deal. So you're seeing NIL get in the mix, and these guys at 15, 16 years old with 80,000 followers that, the game's crazy right now with
It is.
NIL
It
and
is.
the portal, and it's crazy. But for these kids to build such a following at such a young age, I mean, they're all they're all little superstars when they walk around the ball field. I mean, I've ran into them, and they got little kids coming up and asking them for autographs at 15, 16-year-old kids. So it is cool, man.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's like I said, it's fun to get to know them. It's fun to get to know their parents and just to see them to continue to grind it out and not get complacent, stay humble, to get back to the younger generation is huge, man.
I agree. I mean, tournaments have to be played, and why not make them competitive?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, we got to play tournaments. We got to play competitive tournaments because we're trying to build these guys for the next level. That we preach the next level. What's the next level? It's high school baseball, and then it's college, and so on. So I agree, man. I'm all for it.
Yes, sir. No, yeah, man. I mean, and they're only gonna get better. I mean, it can get better. It can get more pressure, more better things. But I think it's we got to work with what we have, and social media is one of the biggest things now. And these kids and parents want to do it, but at the end of the day, we can't forget about what the game is and its fundamentals: developing,
Yep.
practicing, go be competitive, go win, and sticking to it. Not getting mad because
I mean, I think playing for an organization that's organized and you competitive. They love to compete, and then going to all these tournaments out there, walking into high school, they're gonna know who you are. Like, hey,
Yeah.
so and so, you know, applied at this high school. Cool. Like, and then they now in this day and age, like, hey, what's your name? We type it in, and if you're a profile player with all the data that's out there it is. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's another cool thing with Perfect Game is
yeah,
that stats and player metrics and all that. You can check the progress. You can see
hmm
where they stack up and kids in the area. So it's really cool. And I mean the way with the transfer portal is now, like these kids got to come out of high school being ready to go, or you're not going to step field on a you're not going to step on a D1 field campus. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of JUCO right now, which is great. There's a lot of highly competitive JUCOs out there.
For sure.
But to come out of a high school and, step on a D1 team and start your freshman year, like, you might get away with that for being a pitcher, but it's hard to be a position player that day, and that just shows how important it is to make sure you're getting developed with the right baseball IQ at a young age.
I agree.
Yes, sir.
I agree. You like my hat?
Love it, man.
I know.
Look good on you.
I know.
Looks super good on you.
Hotel lobby, thinking, I want to say Houston. Had to be Houston. And Rob walks in with that hat. I'm like, man, I like the hat. He goes, here, you want it? Man, come on, Rob. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. My favorite color. Man.
For real.
Yep.
Look at that. All military greened
All
out.
military greened out with a
Jeez.
PG hat.
Right. Hey, one thing's for sure, Gus Rico's gonna look good out there on that baseball field.
Oh, yeah. You should see.
About that.
You should see our turfs for next week.
Oh,
Fire.
man.
Boy, we come in hot. We're going to look good. I don't know if we're going to play good. What about if
We're
I
gonna
We
look
might
good,
not
though.
play good, but we're gonna look
We're
good,
gonna look
baby.
good. That's for damn sure. We're gonna
What the kids say, look good, play good. So y'all better play
That's
good.
right.
we better play good.
Gotta look the part, right?
Yep. We're just trying not to get tossed out there. I mean, I do have 6 coaches, so if I do, it's like, hey,
Just
you guys got it.
Just don't let them have more than one timeout in the offensive timeout.
Oh man, too soon for that.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. Well, we're coming to an end here. I appreciate you coming on. I know you got some phone calls to make. You got to get to work. And again, thank you so much for even tuning in with us, man. This was great. Some good info for kids and parents and everyone out there that if they think they fit that role of PG select or anything like that, then this was great, man.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate your parents. Appreciate your coaching staff. I know all you guys have put a lot of time in there. A lot of time on the road. A lot of time at the ball field. So big shout out to all your parents. Without the parents, I don't have a job. Without you guys, I don't have a job. So
For
can't
sure.
thank you all enough, and thank you guys for having me on, man.
Yeah, man. No, appreciate it. Thank you again. Great info. And good. A lot of things here were answered for a lot of these parents to hear it from their truly PG guy, and we thank you again for taking your time out here and making episode 38 another great one, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys.
Go Georgia Bulldogs, baby.
Go Dogs,
Go
baby.
Dogs. All right, man. Good seeing you. Take care.
All right, brother.
We out.
Alrighty, we out.